way as well. So thanks for joining our community college panel tonight. So we are excited to collaborate with some of our local partners. We have Irvine Valley, Saddleback, and Santa Ana colleges here to present some of their really awesome and unique programs that they have on their campuses, as well as application information, reminders, deadlines, things like that to help if your student is a senior or if they're even younger and just wanting to learn about their programs. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, you can leave that in the Q&A box, which is towards the top of your menu. And we will answer it either throughout the presentation or at the very end. We are going to have a Q&A between the presenters so that way they can answer their questions specifically if it relates to like one of the schools in particular. All right, so just a few reminders as we get ready to present. If you see any of these symbols on your slide, this means there is a resource that we linked. So you can access it when you click on it. So maybe it's a cool website or resource you can go back to once we send the slide deck over to you. We should send that out probably in the next day or so. And so we'll send that out so you have access to all these resources and contact information so that way you remember and know how to get in contact with anyone. Again, you can see the Q&A chat, this little box towards the top of your toolbar. If you have specific questions for any of the colleges or in general about college and career related items, you can ask your questions in there. And then throughout the presentation, we'll either answer them with our slide deck or we'll get to them towards the end if we haven't already answered them. So that way you can get all of your questions answered before you leave. And then again, all of this will be sent to you via email within the next day or so. So since this is a recording, we will share this with you, but we also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our webinars. So over the last, 5-6 years, we've had tons and tons of webinars like this one tonight. So you can see other topics relating to college and career exploration, financial aid, essays, whatever your student may need help with. So I would recommend checking our YouTube channel. We have a ton of videos, so that way you can see what else we have in store for you. So for tonight, we are going to be going over basically community college highlights. So we're going to do some introductions in a moment, and then each of the colleges will chat about their programs, give some insight, highlights to their campus, and kind of why your student consider attending their university or their college. So that way, when your student is making that decision, you feel pretty confident. And then towards the end, we'll go over some additional resources and Q&A, so that way you can chat with the reps. So our team is known as Futureology. We are the college and career counselors of Capistrano Unified District. If you look on the page, you see a counselor for each high school. We're really lucky to have one college and career counselor located at every high school throughout the district. So each high school has a college and career center, either located in the library, near the library, or a classroom kind of near the office. So your student has access to support throughout the day, throughout the year. We are on campus all day, so we help students during break, lunch. We have tutorial periods where we host workshops. We host webinars like this one. We host after-school events for students and parents like parent nights, financial aid support. We have a ton of support. Many of our counselors are bilingual in Spanish, so that is another great resource if you need extra support. And basically, we want to make sure students know we're available all the time to help with their college and career goals. And if you have questions, have them stop by the College and Career Center, and we'd be glad to chat and help them achieve their goals. All right, I'm going to pass it on over to IVC with Denise Perez to talk about their campus.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, perfect. I will share my screen. That's okay, just so I can move along through the presentation. And then you can see my screen? Yes, okay. Nicole, can you see it if I share it? I just want to be sure everyone thumbs up.
I don't see it yet.
No? Okay, let me see. Now?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming today and just gathering information about the amazing community colleges that are here today. I actually work for Irvine Valley College, which is located in the city of Irvine. And we're a community college that has a lot of options for students. We are sister colleges to Saddleback Community College that is here as well. So if you have any questions in the future, please feel free to reach out to your counselor or directly to myself. I am the assigned rep for Dana Hills and other high schools in the local Orange County area. Okay. Okay, perfect. So let's get started with some benefits. So a lot of the community colleges have an amazing benefits as why students choose to start in community college. And for one, is cost. So a lot of our community colleges in the state of California do participate in programs that allow students to get free tuition. But let's just say students don't get their free tuition, which I will touch later in the presentation. Community college is extremely affordable, especially for students who are hoping to get a higher education. So most students do 2 years in community college, so that cost is $46 a unit. But as I mentioned, there are plenty of programs that will give free tuition for all students, especially if they're first-time college students. Now, IVC is a mid to smaller size community college, so our class size are pretty small. We compare it to more like a private school field. So some of those big courses, like maybe some math and science courses, are no more than 40 students. So we are not very lecture hall style. So our class sizes are much smaller, which is a benefit for a lot of students who maybe want to, build a relationship with the professor or make friends, have that peer-to-peer interaction. So that's super important. Let's see. We also have priority registration benefits. So I will touch a little bit more on that in the presentation. Now, so a lot of the community colleges have amazing pathways. And IVC has one that makes us really popular, and that's our transfer rates. So we're known for transfer at IVC. A lot of our students that do 2 years here are transferring to their dream school. We do offer the #1 transfers to all the UCs in Orange County. So if your student is hoping to get into those big UCs, I highly recommend looking into our transfer rates, especially if there's a school in mind that your student is hoping to transfer. So as I mentioned about cost, so we have the Promise program. So this program offers 2 years of free tuition for all first-time college students. So what that means, if your student is in high school, is a senior currently, highly recommend applying to IVC so they can get the free tuition. So students that did take courses in high school, in college while in high school still qualify. So I did want to mention that. So dual enrollment concurrent students still qualify because they're part of the K through 12 system. But this is money that your family does not need to pay back to the college. So it's completely free. It is not income based. So as I mentioned, all you have to be is a first-time college student, California resident, or AB 540 eligible, enroll full-time to the college, and submit a financial aid application. So that would be a FAFSA or a California Dream Act. And as I mentioned, it is not income based. So it is just a requirement to submit a financial aid application, but we're not looking at the income. So that money is completely free. And we have a benefit that we give a book voucher every semester for students as well. Okay, so this is amazing. And if you're, again, hoping to save money, especially with our economy today, or, some questions with tuition going up in a lot of the UCs, especially private schools, community college is such an amazing start because, it will save families lots of money and students are still getting amazing and quality education. So other than transfers, we do have certificate programs that students can also do while they're in community college and especially at IVC. So these are neat. So the programs that students can look into are something they might be interested in and maybe they want to learn a skill. Right? So these skills they will learn in these particular programs will help them obtain a job while they're either completing or they might be doing two things, right? They could be working on the certificate program, for example, like maybe our real estate program, but the student also could be working on their transfer or their admissions transfer to a 4 year as well. So let's say a student completes their real estate program when they transfer, let's say to UCI, they take their certificate with them, right? So you can bundle up. Students can work on obtaining a certificate in one of these subjects. We have more listed on our website. And they also can work on transferring, getting into a 4 year as well. So when I talk about transfer, where can students transfer to? So students can transfer anywhere they take a transfer student. So our education system is super robust in California. So we have a total of 9 UCs, 23 Cal States, private schools, as I mentioned, Concordia being one of our local ones, Chapman as well, our famous USC school in LA, or students can transfer out of state. So if students have maybe a college in mind, all they have to do is meet with a counselor. They can do that via Zoom or in person or on the phone to set up a plan. So if their goal is to maybe major, like for example, in business, and maybe they see themselves going to Chapman, all you have to do is meet with a counselor so they can set out basically what we call an academic map, so where they map out their semesters, essentially their 2 years at IBC. So this is just an illustration of how we like to explain to students and families on what community college looks like. So I like to compare it a little bit like high school. So freshman and sophomore year, you do it at your community college. So that's what the lower pie chart would look like, where you'll be working on your lower division prep work and electives. So once you apply to that UC, for example, like I have on the upper area here, UCI, when you transfer those courses, you would only be completed your major coursework once you get to that university. Okay, so transferring from IBC to, let's say, UCI would be debt-free, and then you would get there and only work on those major prep work courses. Since we are a community college, we also participate in TAG. And this program is amazing and only exists in community college. So students will have a lot of options in choosing from community college to universities where students can tag into a UC and get guaranteed admission into that UC. So this is our transfer admissions guarantee program. And as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we have 6 UCs listed here. So a student will pick a major, pick a school they're going to tag to, complete the coursework and meet the GPA, and they get guaranteed admission to that school. So the great thing about community colleges, there's going to be a lot of schools to choose from when students are hoping to transfer. Okay, and our amazing honors program that I wanted to talk about tonight is how we have the #1 transfer rate to UCI. So IBC is about 10 minutes from UCI, and this is how a lot of our students are getting into UCI, and this is through our honors program. So this program is amazing because a lot of students that apply into the honors program really set themselves apart even as an IBC student when they're going to apply to a 4 year college. And the way it works is students would apply to the honors program as a senior in high school. And once they're admitted, they would have to apply and then get admitted. They would complete a total of 15 units of honors courses while they're at IBC, their freshman and sophomore year. Okay, so in the span of the 2 years that you're here at IBC, you complete those 15 units of honors and you are an honor student. So we have amazing pathways for students who would want to go to UCI and UCLA. So this is just some info of our admissions rates from 21 to 23 for UCLA. So students that are in high school, it's a small window. Unfortunately, it just gets getting harder, right? But just know that students that are in honors from IBC have a 70-82% chance of getting into UCLA through our honors program, which is super amazing. And same with UCI. So UCI to honors program. From our honors to their honors program is 100% admission. But as you can see, general freshman application or applicants only have a 26 to 30% rate to getting into UCI. So the window gets much higher for students who are hoping to get into their dream schools. And I'm just going to run through a little bit our presentation, so I'm getting close to end of time. I do want to mention that we do have a priority deadline for April 1st for the honors program. So if your goal is to apply the honors program, I highly recommend applying. And then we do offer priority registration as well. So there is a deadline for the priority registration. And if you wanted to get more information about our honors program and about maybe some pathways and other certificate programs that I mentioned in the presentation, we would love to invite all our families to our preview night where we're hosting here at IBC. We had over 3,500 folks attend last year, and this is going to be happening in April 15th. You can bring up to 5 folks per registration, and then we will be having Habit Burger for everyone. And just to wrap up my presentation, these are the steps that are required to be an IBC student. And then if you wanted more information, it's all located on our website, ibc.edu. And lastly, before I wrap up, because I know a lot of our counselors love to advertise our GAP 4+1 program, which is for students who are hoping into majoring in accounting and want to definitely obtain a job before graduation. So this is 2 years at IBC and a guarantee admission to Cal State Fullerton. So this is amazing for students who may want to do accounting. And lastly, our pharmacy program. So pharmacy students who are going to major in pharmacy is about 8 years, but we have it for 5.5, guaranteed admission to Western University. And I will just get my info here because I know we have other presenters. As I mentioned, my name is Denise Perez and I work for IBC. If you have any questions, here's my email. I also have my outreach general email as well for my office. Or if you have any questions about the Promise program, please don't hesitate to email us. We will love to give you an update just to be sure you get that free tuition. Thank you.
All right,
All
next we
right.
have Saddleback.
Let me see. Okay. Who's showing the screen? Is that you, Nicole? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, if you don't mind going to the next slide. Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Marco Benavides. I am the rep for Saddleback College. So I get to talk to you now about your home college right here, your neighbors, I call them, our neighbors next door, just 10, 15 minutes away from all of you. First things first, I want to talk about Saddleback College and their big wins this year. So one great thing that we're definitely sharing is that we have a lot of wins in 2025. To start off with, our biggest win is that our OC Register ranked Saddleback College as the best community college in OC, right? So they evaluated all the 9 community colleges and they're saying, you know what? We think Saddleback College is number 1 for us for various reasons, one of them being career outcomes. Now, if that wasn't enough, also this year in the Wallet Hub, so Wallet Hub is a research website that looks at all community colleges and different institutions. They compare all community colleges in the United States, and this year they made us in the top 10 in the United States of best community colleges. A lot of it because of our career outcomes. So unlike IBC, we're actually a much larger school, right? We're one of the few larger schools. We have a little bit over 28,000 students right now currently studying with us. One of the things that makes Saddleback College number 1 wins is, of course, our career outcomes. We offer a lot of career programs out there for students to be successful. We're always analyzing the job market, trying to see what popular jobs are coming in. I know the question with AI kicking in, people are now wanting more and like, oh, what about the career route? What opportunities do I have? And we help a lot of students with that. We have number 1 in wage gain. So what that means is students who get a certificate or graduate from Saddleback College are seeing a wage increase throughout their time, depending on the career they're studying. And then, of course, over a 10-year period study, they saw our college students or graduates having a 10-year earning increase, which means they were just earning more money throughout the time. And that's how we prepare our students. We prepare students not just for transfer, but also for career routes as well. Nicole, we could go to the next slide, please. So who we are. So what Saddleback College does a little differently from other community colleges is that we are your enrollment coaches. So what does that mean to all of you and your students? As an enrollment coach, our job is pretty much to be the best friend of the student throughout the process and the enrollment process at Saddleback College. Right now, you'll see the three of us. I am the K-12 enrollment coach. So a lot of your students have seen me on their campus, and I've seen a lot of them. So throughout the time between now until August, when the fall semester starts, I'm helping students throughout the enrollment process. So all the way from the pre-application, learning about Saddleback, all the way into their logging in to their campus for their online class, or they're sitting down in our seat in our campus. One fun fact about all of the enrollment coaches is that we do this not because we're getting paid, that's just a bonus, but all of us actually were a student at Saddleback once in our life, right? I look young, so I want to reveal my age. I look young, but I went to Saddleback a long time ago. So when I talk about Saddleback, I talk about not only its benefits, but I talk about it also through a student perspective, right? The real life experience of what I gained from it, and hopefully your students learn from here. Let me go to the next slide, please. So why do students attend Saddleback College? It's like my colleague Denise said, there's a lot of reasons why people will go to community college just in general. Saddleback, of course, being one transfer route, right? We also help our students transfer to the 4-year route, but we also help our students with dual enrollment, which is essentially taking college classes while in high school at the same time. And best part for parents is tuition free. That means you're not paying for the classes, just only material fees or any textbooks fees if there are. And of course, as my colleague has mentioned, really the biggest benefit about attending community colleges in general is, of course, you're saving money. And that's what we like to do, right? We want to make sure that we're saving you money. The myth of free college that a long time ago that it was not existent now is becoming a reality. There's a lot of ways to make tuition and college a lot more affordable. Okay, we go to the next slide. So this is where I come in as an enrollment coach. I work with all sorts of students. So each student has their own story, right? Different backgrounds. And so for a lot of time, students navigating the college system, especially from a high school student to a college system, is completely different. So that's where your enrollment coach comes in. My job is to make a sense of all the resources that we have at Saddleback and make it understandable for each student. Each student is going to need different needs, which means my job is to determine what need that student is going to need and then connect them to those resources so they can get the best benefit and could get the best support they have. For example, if we're working with the first gen student, they have a high chance of qualifying for certain programs like EOPS as an example. If our students have an IEP plan or anything around those lines, they'll be working with our disabled student program services. They might not know that, but I do. So my job is to connect them to the SPS to help them connect with that and essentially kind of help them just find their path around that time. And then once they start classes, they're not alone. Besides your enrollment coaches, when students register and begin their first day, they're going to have success coaches, which means they're going to be with the student all the way to the end until they graduate and transfer to a 4-year or they earn a certificate or whatever that route might be. Okay, we go to the next slide. So at Saddleback, we have over 100 programs, and so we break it down by 5 schools. So our schools of arts, media, performance, and design. So I often joke around, these are my students who will be the Hollywood stars, right? Or if not Hollywood stars, but theater, music, anything around those lines. Or business and industry. So our students who are looking into the business and industry world, for example, business management, business leadership. We're looking at manufacturing, automotive, culinary arts, for example, our School of Health and Wellness for our future nursing students, EMT students, paramedic. Maybe they want to be a yoga instructor. We have a certificate for that. Go out, go teach yoga on Saturday mornings. Why not? Right? And of course, our humanities and social sciences. So, of course, our future psychologists, teachers, right? Child development experts, and lastly, our School of STEM, right? Engineering, biology, chemistry, all those fun programs. Each student will eventually belong to one of these schools. And within these schools, they're going to have the resources they're going to need to be successful in what they do. Okay. Next slide, please. So there's 2 major pathways, career education being one of them. I work with a lot of students now who don't want to go to the 4-year, and that's okay, right? Right now, the labor market's going to be booming. Right now, with the introduction of AI, it's shaking things up. And so now we're really trying to look at things, how it's going to look in the future, and how can we set our students up for success. Our career education route, when our students don't want to go to 4-year, but still want to attend and, get a certificate and start making a living, That's what our career education is designed for, to help students for that. We pretty much prepare students for high wage paying jobs. Everything students need to learn, they learn that all in class, all hands on. So if your student's not really the best test taker or paper writer, that's okay. Our career education focuses on a lot of practical hands-on skills. So they're not just learning about something, they're actually implementing it or trying it out. Like for example, our nursing students will actually practice doing IV injections on each other, but when they're more advanced in the program. So don't worry, it's not the first year. Right, but that's just an example. All the students are getting down and dirty with the engines, breaking it apart, putting it together, doing diagnostic runs, and all that great stuff. So that's what career education does. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Similar to our sister school, IBC, and of course, Santa Ana Community College, we transfer students to any four-year university. I think my colleague kind of really summarized the transfer out very clear, right? So students will study with us. They'll kind of get their general education out of the way in the major prep classes, and we'll transfer them on. At Saddleback, at least roughly, we transfer around 3,500 students every year to one of their dream schools. And it's not just schools within California, but also out of state. For example, Harvard, Stanford, University of Michigan, and so on. There's programs out there for transferring, like the TAG program and the TAP program. So essentially, TAG, the Transformation Guarantee, which gives the guarantee spot to one of the 6 UCs. Of course, we always encourage them to work with counselors to determine if their major is applicable to that program. And then the TAP program, the Transfer Alliance program, similar to the with an honors program, right? Honors students have a priority to transferring to UCLA from our Saddleback honors. And of course, our top transfer routes for students. So within the UC system, UC Irvine as well, UCLA, UC San Diego, Santa Barbara, and Berkeley. And if you're interested in Cal States, we transfer students a lot to Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Long Beach, San Diego State University, Cal Poly Pomona, and Cal State San Marcos. Okay, next slide. And here's the best part, of course, if you have a senior, any seniors, we always invite our seniors to our Discover Saddleback 2026 or High School Senior Day. Essentially, this is one of the last hurrah for students to see what Saddleback has to offer and see it in action. They're going to have all the colleges out there, all the schools out there from sciences all the way to humanities and all of the good stuff out there presenting to students, showing their labs, pretty much giving them a tour of different areas, the backstage for AMP, for example, and all that great stuff. At the same time, they'll have chance to talk with the counselors or anything around those lines to get things done if they still need to catch up on anything. And of course, the best part is that we always like to feed our guests, right? So they're going to be our welcome guests, and they're going to get some free in and out if they attend us. I always encourage everyone to attend. Friends, you're more than welcome to join along too. That's not a problem with us. You're more than welcome to come over to our campus and see what we have to offer. Okay, next slide. And so I don't take too much time, so I can hand it over to my colleague. If you do have any questions, there's our contact information. I won't give you my email because it's very, very long. So this is the easiest email to reach out to me. Just say, hey, Marco, I have a question about something. And whatever that question is, will help you along the way. But I hope you learn something about Saddleback College. Any community college really is great, right? And we always encourage our students to attend and just get a quality education. And any of us can definitely do that. But for Saddleback, of course, hopefully I get to work with them soon. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Christian Berber, and I am the High School and Community Outreach Specialist for Santa Ana College. And I'm actually in charge of recruiting students from all over Southern Orange County. So everywhere from basically Mission Viejo down to San Clemente, I'm out there talking to the students and I'm helping them matriculate if they need any help, okay? And we're going to continue on to the next slide. So at Santa Ana College, we have certificate programs. So if a student said, hey, I don't want to be in school for 2 years. I just want to go in, get my certificate in medical assisting or auto tech, and then start hitting the workforce, they can definitely do that. We also have dual enrollment opportunities. So if you have students who are like, hey, I want to be a firefighter, or I want to get into auto tech, or I want to get into business, accounting, and they're seniors and they don't have a full day of coursework. Some seniors get to leave like school after lunch and stuff. If they're at home just playing Fortnite or any other video game, have them to do enrollment. Have them take advantage of this opportunity right now. That if they're getting out of high school early, they can definitely take advantage of doing enrollment classes. They take college classes while they're in high school, and it's free. So all of my students who want to do fire tech, auto tech, or any other program, and they know they're going to come to Santa Ana College, I definitely like to push through enrollment. And even if they don't want to go to Santa Ana College, but the time frame that we offer works for them, they should definitely take advantage of these programs, and they can speak to their college counselors about enrolling. We also have associate degrees at Santa Ana College. So if a student wants to transfer out, they can definitely do so. And we just added two more bachelor's degree programs. So Santa Ana College does offer two bachelor's degrees. We're going to add a third one next fall. And we currently offer a bachelor's degree in occupational studies, and it's $86 per unit, and which is still way cheaper than if you go to a normal 4-year. And then we also have our second bachelor's degree that started this fall semester in paralegal studies. So if you know anybody that wants to work in the law field, there's always work in the court systems, right? And then our third bachelor's degree will be in auto technology. So students can definitely go to Saddleback College and get an AA degree in auto tech, and then come to Santa Ana College and get their bachelor's degree in auto tech. That's something that they can do as well. We have so many programs and options available for them, and we're going to continue on. So for example, we separate our majors based on career academic pathways, also known as CAPS. So creating our world, art, graphic design, fashion design. We're all wearing clothes, right? So if you want to do embroidery, screen printing, we even have quinceañera dressmaking, which if you don't know what a quinceañera is, it's like a mini wedding. So you wear the big puffy dress. And if you ever had to buy a quinceañera dress or a wedding dress, they're expensive. So you want to work in a field where your product costs a lot of money. We also have TV communications. We're the movie capital of the world, right? So if you want to work in film, television production, we even have music production at Santa Ana College. So if your student doesn't know what they want to major in, but they really love the arts, or they really just kind of want to dip their toe into different fields, going to a community college is it's such a good option for them, because they can really kind of dip their toe into different academic pathways and kind of see what works for them, what they like. They're 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, I knew nothing about myself. I changed my majors 5 times. So this is a good opportunity for them to kind of really understand who they are, what they like, what they don't like, with internships, with jobs, and as they enter the workforce and start taking these classes that might spark an interest in them. Now, our Design Make and Move is our hands-on program. We have manufacturing, we have auto tech, we have welding, we have diesel technology. So if students are into programs that are very hands-on, we have really great programs. Engineering as well, right? And money matters. If they want to get into business administration, paralegal, entrepreneurship, accounting, they want to be a tax preparer, we have those programs available. Now, my cap is future educators, right? I'm in education. So if they want to work with children, child development, education, we even have library technology. So if they like working with kids, but they don't want to be a teacher, library tech is a great option as well, right? Teaching kids how to read and promoting literacy. All right, we're going to continue on. And then we also have STEM, so biotechnology, right? Every time you get your blood drawn, where does it go? Who tests it, right? I want to work in the medical field, but I don't want to work with patients. Biotechnology lab assistant is a great opportunity. Computer science. This is what's actually booming right now, everybody. If your kids like cybersecurity, this is an amazing option for them, because our data is so important now, especially since we have a lot of information in the cloud, right? So computer science, biotechnology, engineering, chemistry, the STEM field is always a high paying, we always have high paying jobs with the STEM field. Now, people, ideas, and cultures. Do your kids want to get into political science? Do they want to learn? Do they want to take anthropology classes? We have American Sign Language, Spanish, Vietnamese, Japanese, right? These are great programs to also indulge in. And then we also have helping others. So are you into helping other people, working with your community? We have criminal justice. Does your student want to become a CHP officer, California Highway Patrol, sheriff, police officer, correctional officer? Or maybe they want to work with the community, but they don't want to become an officer. They can be a 911 operator, right? They can be a recruiter for the police departments. We are actually the only community college in Orange County that offers a fire tech program. So if your student wants to become a firefighter, which I know your school district offers an amazing fire science academy, we have a fire tech program. So students from Brea to San Clemente will come on over to Santa Ana College to participate in that amazing program. We also have medical assisting, 5 classes, 3 in the fall, 2 in the spring. You're done. Go work. We have nursing, speech language pathology, occupational studies, pharmacy tech, and kinesiology as well. So, are your kids into sports? Do they want to be a sports medicine instructor, right? Or a sports trainer? They can definitely do that as well. And we'll continue on. Here's just an example of one of our certificates. Welding is a really big, a very popular program that we have at Santa Ana College. But the thing about welding is you're working with fire that can cut through metal. So our classroom sizes are much smaller. This is when priority registration comes in. If your students want to do programs that are impacted, getting this priority registration that all 3 campuses offer is huge, and we prioritize them. So, talk to your students during the winter break about what they want to do, what schools offer programs that they want to dive into, and then potentially visiting the campuses or just like doing some more research online. Okay, we're going to continue on. And then we have the Promise program at Santa Ana College, where it's 2 years of free tuition. And we just added this fall semester. All students that participate in the Promise program can get guaranteed admissions to Cal State Fullerton if they graduate with a 2.8 GPA and follow other requirements as well. So not only do they get 2 years of free tuition, but they can also get guaranteed admissions to Cal State Fullerton, which is our local community Cal State. Now, my best friend went to Santa Ana College before we had the Promise program, and she didn't get into Cal State Fullerton. She had to go to Cal State Dominguez Hills. She loved it, but her commute just turned to a longer commute because she couldn't get into the local community Cal State available to us. So having the Promise program is just such a huge safety net, and then hopefully the student can get into their dream school for their master's program, right? We're gonna continue on. And then we also have special programs like EOPS, which is for first generation college students. They give them individualized counselings, educational plans. They check in with them 3 times a semester. We have the MESA program for math, engineering, science. They take a field trip to Alaska. Digital Dawns. You don't have a laptop? We'll let you borrow a laptop. We have an honors program, a center for Asian Pacific Islander students or DESI, U2 Scholars Programs for African American / Black identifying students, Undocu Scholars for students who are undocumented or of mixed status like myself. We have a Pride Center, a Transfer Center where they go on field trips to go visit UCs, Cal States, and private universities, and programs like Puente and University Link. It's a cohort-based program, transfer success program, where they help build the student's resume so they can transfer out. That means giving them community service hours so they can build their resumes and hopefully get into their dream schools. Okay, we're going to continue on. We have a Thrive Center where like a food pantry for students as well. We know that eating before going to class will make a big difference in staying fueled with food. And we're going to continue on. We do have sports here at Santa Ana College as well. So if your students are into sports, tell them to start reaching out now to local community colleges and 4 universities because it's an amazing opportunity for them to transfer and get more assistance as well. Here's my contact information. If you have any students who are interested in checking out any of our programs, please feel free to contact me, okay? Thank you so much for your time, everybody, and enjoy your evening. And I can't wait for the Q&A.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. There I am. Okay, so we're going to open it up for the Q&A. And so if you want to use that feature to ask your questions, we'll have someone answer. Before we go into that, though, I do want to make sure to let you guys know we have a financial aid fundamentals webinar coming up. If you want to show that also, Ms. Nicole. And it's coming up. The first date, I believe, is November 18th, and that one will be in Spanish. And then they have the next one that's coming up December 10th. That one will be in English. So if you want to sign up for that, they have really great information. You'll see the QR code there. We're also going to share these slides with you, so you'll have that to sign up later. It's really important for our seniors and our senior parents. A lot of really good information before you guys get started on your journey to college. So we'll open it up for some questions now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's see here. Okay. So Saddleback, I don't know, this might have already been answered, but if you want to answer this one, what is the difference between TAG and honors program? And is the honors program and TAG also available at Saddleback? Mr. Marco.
Yes. So the difference between TAG and honors program. So honors is one of our special programs we have at Saddleback. TAG is what we call the transfer admission guarantee, which means any student who's getting ready to go ahead and submit their applications to the UCs, it's their last year at Saddleback, they can do TAG to one of the 6 UCs, which will be, I believe, Merced, Davis, Santa Cruz, Santa Barbara, Riverside, and I always forget one.
So you mentioned UCI. Is it UCI?
Yes, UCI. Sorry, I can't forget UCI.
Okay.
Thank you. Right now,
Yep.
the honors program. Any students can register for the honors program themselves. For us, it's an open enrollment, and the honors program has their own unique transfer program called TAP, which is a transfer alliance program to UCLA. It doesn't give them a guarantee, but it boosts their chance to UCLA. Now, students at Saddleback can do both the honors TAG and TAP at the same time. That's okay. I hope I answered that question.
Great. Thank you. Okay, and then I'm not sure who wants to take this one. Can you do the 2 years work in less time? And do AP pass test count towards TAG program?
I mean,
I
I could
can-
take it, I guess.
Oh, go for it, Marco.
Oh, are you sure, Denise?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So yes, you can do in less time, 2 years of work in less time. This is where you'll take advantage of dual enrollment. As I believe it was Christian who talked about dual enrollment. Essentially, you are taking college classes while in high school at the same time. You can reduce your time and your semesters with us, depending on how many classes you take and how many credits you're earning. Now, do AP pass tests count towards the TAG program? It depends on the program itself. This is where you'll work with our college counselors to determine if your AP scores will be accepted to some of the UCs of Cal States. It's my understanding not all of them will accept AP scores, but the AP scores can still be translated over to college credit regardless with any community college. And the honors programs like IBC, yes, the honors programs are very similar to IBCs. Almost all community colleges have very similar honors programs.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then the Promise program is for all students regardless of income. I believe so, if anybody else wants to chime in on that. But yes, the Promise program is not income based, but they do need to file, your student will need to file a financial aid application.
That is correct. Mhm.
Okay, let's see here. Does Saddleback offer a music production program? And is it an associate degree that I can get through the dual enrollment program as a high school student to get into college?
Yes, we do have we have A in music production at Saddleback. Essentially, in this case, you would start meeting with our college counselors or go to our website at saddleback.edu. We have a tool called the Program Mapper, which gives students a general idea what classes to take for each certificates or programs we have at Saddleback. Of course, at your school, if you're part of any of the schools here in Capistrano Unified School District, you do have a college counselor from Saddleback there once a week. So I would just suggest you make an appointment with them, talk to your guidance office, and they can help you with that. And sit down with a college counselor to start mapping out that career path and then what classes you want to be taking as a high school student.
Awesome. Okay, so there's a question, and I'm not sure if the question is about how competitive it would be, but maybe Denise, you can answer this. It
Sure.
says, how about transfer from community college to UC's under computer science program, computer engineering, or data science?
Okay, so this major, and I would recommend the student to definitely speak to a counselor or a transfer center. So it just really just depends what you see. Some of the and this kind of just relates a little bit to tag too, where some majors can be excluded under tag or some of those programs that have that guarantee admission, and being that some majors are impacted. So computer science could be that one major, just really depending on what you see. But it is very possible for students to major in computer science or data science, any of the STEM majors, and still get into that UC. It just really just depends. My recommendation is definitely having a student set up an appointment with a counselor. And I did want to mention any student currently right now, doesn't matter what grade they're in, can make an appointment. IBC, you don't have to be a registered student to speak to a counselor. So if, you might have thoughts of like definitely doing community college or at IBC, right? What would that look like? And if you had a major in mind, or even if you didn't have a major in mind, students can come to community college undecided and still kind of figure that out. So that doesn't cost any money to also change your mind too. If you have a major that you started with and maybe you didn't love data science and you maybe want to change over to business, that's something you can definitely set up with a counselor, and it's a quick 1 day switch, right? So I recommend meeting with the counselor, especially with those majors that can be impacted. You want to be sure that you are transferring with the major that you are passionate about, and you're ready to transfer with that major. Because once you're in transfer into a university, it's extremely hard to change your major because you're transferring as a junior.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much.
Hmm.
Okay, Kristen, this one's for you. Does Santa Ana College have a senior day similar to Saddleback and IVC?
So we don't have a senior day at Santa Ana College, but during the summer, we do have a family night. So it's basically our open house to the whole Orange County community. And the thing, it's really hard to kind of share with everybody because we have it in July. So all schools are on summer break. So please, if you can follow us at Santa Ana College on Instagram, we'll be posting information about when we'll be having our next family night, which is always during the summer. But students can tour the campus as well if they like. We even do like personalized tours. So if you just want to bring you and your family, or you and your high school senior or your high school student to Santa Ana College, you can definitely do that and email our office. But yeah, I would say follow all of us on social media just so that you can get more information about what our amazing colleges have to offer.
Awesome. Okay. And also for the fire science program, in the spring, we will be visiting the fire tech program where we get to see our students, the students at Santa Ana College that are currently students in the fire science program. So if your student is interested in visiting and seeing, a day in the life of a firefighter, that would be really great. We'll announce that later on in the spring as well. A question for Marco here. So student is a freshman at Capel High School. He is interested in taking extra classes at Saddleback College since it's very close. Who do you recommend us to contact to receive more information?
If it's just general information about getting started for the dual enrollment program and how that works more in depth, you can always reach out to me. I know they're going to send you the slides over at the end or within a few days. So you can always shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to sit down with you. We can have a phone conversation, walk you through that process. And then depending on what else you need, I'll be able to connect you to the right departments as well.
When you finish an associate degree at Saddleback, does it help you get into college easier because you are getting in as a transfer student and not a high school student?
So not just with Saddleback, but also with any community colleges in general, transfer students do tend to have higher chances of acceptance rates to four-year universities. And the reason we really like to shine that a lot is because the first 2 years at a four-year university, they're doing exactly what you're going to be doing at a community college, your general ed. The only difference is we're cutting the cost, right, by a lot compared to the Cal States, UCs, or private schools. And so transfer students do tend to have higher competitive chances into getting to certain schools. So if that's the transfer is your route and you really want to go to the school, yeah, you definitely want to try talking to any of the community colleges to get started, or in this case, Saddleback. And we could talk to our college counselors to help you start being competitive to make sure that you get where you need to go.
Okay. Thank you for that, Marco. And I see another question on here about benefits, and I'm assuming benefits at all of the community colleges. Are they only for first-gen students? So are any of the benefits at the schools only for first-gen students?
First gen, so students that I did want to mention for the free tuition, that's for first time college students. So yes and no, depending on what benefits the person's referring to. For the Promise program, it's usually, I would think at every community college, they have the same criteria where you have to be a first time college student to obtain the free tuition. In regards to other benefits like the TAG program, no, that applies to any student, returning student, doesn't matter. Just really depending on what the benefit is. There is criteria. If you're curious on what program, I recommend going to the website for that community college and looking up the program. Usually, each community college should be putting criteria how to qualify for a program on their website.
I just wanted to add as well. We sometimes have students that will start, let's say they start their first year at Santa Ana College and then they transfer to IVC. They no longer qualify for the Promise program because now they're transfer students from one community college to the next. At least that's how it works at Santa Ana College. So I would say, like, really, the whole goal of the Promise program is to get students straight out of high school to go to college and then graduate in hopefully 2 to 3 years and then transfer out. So I think it's really important to kind of talk to your students about what community college do you want to commit to for the next 2 years, possibly three, so that you can, transfer out, get your AA degree, your AS degree, and even add some certificates as well. I mean, I had a student who they were in the Promise program. They graduated in 4 years, but they graduated with three associate's degrees. Three associates, and they got into UC Berkeley and UCLA. And they ended up choosing UCLA, right? So everyone's kind of at their own pace, but the Promise program is really to help kind of motivate students to graduate in 2 years and then to continue on.
Thank you for that, Christian. Okay, so another question popped up here. When you say first-time college student, do you mean the first in the family or have never attended college? So if this is for Promise program,
It's never attended college. Yeah,
never
first
attended
time.
college.
First time
Right.
college student.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've never had taken any courses at any institution, not even one course. Yeah.
And if you, just to add to that, if you're doing dual enrollment, it does not disqualify you from that either. Just FYI.
Another question here. Can you transfer from Saddleback to universities in the South like LSU or Alabama?
Yes, this will you'll talk with our transfer counselors to really set what school you want to go to, and they'll create an academic plan that's going to fit the school's needs. So, and yeah, you can transfer out of state, not a problem.
Great, awesome. Okay, I think we're caught up on questions for now. If you have any more questions, we have a few more minutes. You can pop them in the Q&A. Okay, another good one here. Okay, so does the Promise program only cover the first 2 years? What if it's taking them longer than 2 years to finish? So
I could answer that. I work for the Promise program at IBC. So the tuition is only for the 2 years. So if a student is needing to stay, let's say another year, then I would recommend talking to financial aid to seeing if that student qualifies for financial aid. So because Promise program is not income based, we still recommend, obviously students to seek other aid if the opportunity is there, but it's going to be based on their income. So once the 2 years are done, then unfortunately they can't participate in the Promise program, but there are many cases where students, based on their income, will qualify for financial aid.
Thank you. If you get an associate during high school and as a high school senior going to UCs, are you seen as a transfer student even though you just finished high school, or is it seen as just a regular high school student? So as far as I know, you are still considered a freshman student, even if you have finished all of your prerequisites for an associate's during high school, which we've had a couple of students here at San Clemente do that, but they're still considered freshman students.
Yes, thank you, Laura. I was going to say that. Yeah, because essentially you're not technically part of you're not a first time or college student, you're a special admission student, right? So K to 12 dual enrollment, you're a special admission student. So yeah, you'll still be considered a high school and transferring or high school student. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And then transfers to UCs will include UC San Diego. So if you're talking about, let me see, the TAG program, I don't believe UC San Diego is a part of it, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's not.
Correct. Okay. So let me see. We'll be on for another couple minutes if you have any last questions. If not, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Are there any questions coming in? Okay. How about transferring into Cal State Cal State San Luis Obispo from Saddleback? So Cal Poly SLO. Marco, what are the?
So if you're asking if you can transfer to Cal State San Luis Obispo, then yes you can from Saddleback. That's not a problem, right? We'll transfer any student to any community any university out there. They'll just work with transfer counselors to make sure they're creating an academic plan that's going to fit whatever school they want to go to. That's all.
Great. And then USD is not does not participate in the TAG program. I see that question here. It just popped up. Yeah,
Is that University of San Diego?
I believe so.
It's my alumni school. No, they don't. It's a private school out in San Diego. It's expensive. Beautiful campus. I think it's top 10 beautiful campuses in the nation. It's a great school. I actually was a business student there. They have a great business program, but no, unfortunately, they do not have guaranteed transfer since it's a private school.
You know what, Miss Perez? I think they meant University of South Dakota. Just
Yeah,
beautiful
that
campus.
could be a good school too.
Okay, we're at about time here, but I think we have one last question. Yes, all these slides for the last question that came in now will be available to you if you signed up for our webinar tonight. We will be sending you a copy of the recording, so you will have it. It will also be on our YouTube channel for Futureology as well, if you'd like to view it there. Really quick, somebody's asking, are there downsides to earning your associates in high school?
No, you
I-
save a lot
no?
of money. No, it's education is never, like there's never a downside to education unless it's crippling debt, right, with student loans. But no, getting your associates while you're in high school is amazing. And I think when you try to apply to UCs or Cal States for 4 years, that's just you demonstrating that you're very serious about transferring to a 4 year, and that's what they want to see. When a student transfers to a 4 year university, the universities are betting to see like who is gonna finish. They want students who are gonna finish and complete their studies at their institutions. So they want to see students who are serious, dedicated, responsible, and want to complete at their institutions because that's where the funding comes in, right? When students complete at these institutions. So I would say talk to your students about being serious about kind of picking a major, being serious about it, building on it, building their resume so that they can have higher chances of transferring out. And remember, these colleges want your students, right? So they also have to they can't, we have that mindset of like you have to beg to get in, but no, they should really be like, hey, you want to take my student. My student's the best. They're gonna do really well at your university, and they're gonna be, great members of society. So you have to start off with that mentality in order to, find the best results. And good luck to your students as well.
Thank you. Okay, that wraps up our Q&A. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight again, and thank you for our panelists at each one of our neighboring community college for sharing all of that valuable information. If you have any questions, please reach out to your college and career counselor. You have one at each one of your high schools. I'm at San Clemente. Ms. Rendico is over at Dana Hills High School. We're here to help, and if we can link you to any extra information. Thanks so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Thank you.